I think that as someone that I'm not good at routine, like that's never been something that
Yeah.
I thrive at.
Yeah.
I am someone I'm like, oh, today I'm going to do this and this. But
Yeah.
we all know that the day's gone if you function that way.
Yeah.
It all starts with those habits.
Yeah.
Melissa has been incredibly patient
Yeah.
with our ridiculousness. Scotty's ready to run off of the set.
Run off into the sunset.
Possibly.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so our very first podcast that we ever did, it was just us two, and we were like, this is the one where we figure out all of the tech. And then the first one with, with Jill, we were like, oh no, this is the one. And then now we're here and we're still here. So, but luckily we chose wisely because we only selected people that we felt like would endure our ridiculousness as we figure this out. So with that, we have Melissa Meneses, a dear friend, and Melissa, I'd love for you just to kind of, so you have two kind of different businesses that you have your realtor business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have all of the things. So my 9 to 5, I say, is real estate. So I've been doing real estate about 9 years. I started on a team. I was on a team for about 3 years. Did really, really well. I think I sold 23 homes my first year.
Wow. Wow. That's impressive.
And then was just doing really, really well. Went on my own in 2020. And as we know, the whole world stopped in 2020. And I was like, no, this is my year to shine.
Yeah.
I am going to be this go-getter realtor. Kids were home from school. Husband was an essential worker, so he was gone. And I'm trying to set up this new business. And so I had to pause. We ordered a pool from Walmart. The pool came. We set up outside.
That was the thing to do during COVID. It was order pools.
Yeah, everybody had a pool, right? It was a big pool, and so the kids were out there. And then I was able to start on my business, and then I had a great year. And so, fast forward until now. And I love real estate. I do. I feel that I've lived 9 lives, and I have many different avenues. Before real estate, I worked in law. I had a degree and I worked in law for 12 years.
You're so much like me. Oh my gosh. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. This is like one of the 9 lives, right? It's like one of the 9 lives. And so while I love real estate, there's so many other hats that I wear as well, right?
Yeah.
Mother, my favorite job by far. I have 3 children. I had one when I was super young. I was 16.
Oh, wow.
And so he will be 30 in June. Makes me feel,
oh my goodness.
Most people are like, are you in your 30s? I'm like, thank you.
Thank you. I actually have
I am not, but
yeah.
I have a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
He's here locally, has a fiance, no grandbabies yet, but doing really well.
Yeah.
And then I met Francisco when I was 32. And we had 2 more kids. So my son just turned 14 and my daughter is 12. And so that has been so much fun with this, another chapter added to my book of life.
Yeah.
I love being a mom.
Yeah.
I really love being a mom. And so
I know we were just joking before this.
I was going to say,
like, you know what? Being a stay-at-home, I'll have like the house in order. I'll do this.
I'll do the dishes and the laundry and all of that stuff. So
yeah.
I've learned in this day and age today that if it doesn't bring me joy, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So whatever that is.
I love that.
I try to live my life in the present, right? So what am I doing today? Whatever my calendar says, of course, and I have the luxury to put on my calendar what I want to do, owning my own business. But when I wake up and do those things during the day, if it doesn't bring me joy, then I'm not going to do it again.
Life's too short.
Yeah, life is way too short. And so I'm having a great time in life. Real estate is my 9 to 5, but my husband just started a cabinet business 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He's been doing it like 26 years. We've been together 15. So the whole time we've been together. But he came home 2 years ago with a box, rage quitted, and was like,
rage quit.
Yeah. I was at the counter, right? And with my coffee and my laptop, and he comes in with this box. And I was like, oh, okay. So the last 2 years have been exciting, exhilarating.
Yes.
I felt like we just held hands and jumped off a cliff and was like, how do we open up a brick and mortar business? Obviously, his business is so completely different as a 1099 realtor.
Yeah.
He has a brick and mortar, has employees, Department of Taxation, like so different. And so we would get our little documents and go turn them in, and they're like, oh, you forgot this. And we're like, oh my God. So from the time that was in April, by November, we finally found a place,
Yeah.
brick and mortar, signed the lease, and the saws didn't turn on until March of last year. So we have just celebrated 1 year in business,
Wow.
hit the ground running, totally has been successful. I think the hardest part is finding employees that want to work.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
baffling to me,
It's
and
like, hey, we're willing to pay you
I know,
money.
hello,
We
show
just
up.
need you to show up, be on time, be hardworking. But
They
yeah,
don't want to.
they don't want to.
You get
Yeah.
payroll done, you submit it, a week or couple get in, and
Yeah.
then they're like, nah.
Nah. Yeah. Yeah.
Part of
That's,
the pivot for me now is to kind of dive into this cabinet
I
business
love
and
that.
say, what can I do to help? I obviously am well known in the community. I'm very social. I can go to
Mhm.
these networking events and kind of let my trigger words hear cabinetry instead of real estate now, and meet with designers,
Yes.
architects, that kind of stuff,
Making
which
all the
I maybe
connections.
already know, but if not, get out there
Right.
and just kind of network
Yep.
us to be, you know, doing that.
I
And
love
that
that.
is fun too. It brings me joy to do the behind the scenes
Yep.
type stuff, and something that I'm not necessarily like, he's pushing the broom, he's answering the calls, he's doing the consultation, dressed in nice clothes,
Yeah.
and then goes back and puts his shop clothes on and makes the stuff and then delivers it. So it would
Yeah.
be nice if he could just be the designer, right? Show up to
Yes.
the
Yeah.
client's house and say, what is your vision? Let me put this into CAD for you and show you.
Yep.
And then the guys in the shop just fabricate it.
Well, we were talking beforehand of how, like, I mean, I can relate in Reno being just, I mean, it's such an amazing place to be a small business owner because it's so connection based.
Mm-hmm.
And I joked, like, if I wanted to quit photography tomorrow and start, I don't even know what business I would start, but if I wanted to start something else, we have become, I don't want to say so known in the community, but yeah, we've created all these connections and that
Yep.
doesn't go away. And I mean, I think you've built your business in a similar way of just building connections and referrals, and people know, like, and trusting you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, I mean, this next venture, I mean, you're going to have a lot of really probably quick success. Like, oh, Melissa's doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
It's
that's
fun.
the part that's hard, is building those initial connections.
Sure. Yeah. And he's already, like I said, he's been doing it for a while. So his clients are general contractors and interior designers. And I get it. When he's like, I'm going to go start my own business, they're like, oh, okay, good luck. But now that they
Mhm.
see it, they're like, they're coming back around. And so
Yeah.
setting up those lunch dates or coffee
Yep.
dates and just revisiting, doing shop walks, we are happy to show off our lovely shop, right?
Yeah.
And just all of those things. So again, it brings me back to what is today, what's happening today.
Mhm.
I have this, I have a coffee date with
Yep.
architecture, and then I have volleyball. And that
Yeah.
brings me so
What a
much
fun
joy.
day. That's
Yeah.
a great
It's
day.
and it's blue skies, right?
Oh, yeah. There's nothing to complain
Yeah,
about. It's like,
nothing to
oh,
complain about.
no,
So
I love that.
it brings me joy. I would say that the foundation for me, and I'm very transparent about it, is my sobriety. So sobriety is such a foundation for me. I found AA in 2006 when I was 26 years old. And for, I think, 17 years, I was in and out. I was trying to get sober. And it wasn't until this last time I got sober in 2022 that it really was like the aha moment. The light came on. I had 8 different sobriety dates from the time I was 26 until this last time.
Wow.
And for whatever reason, this last time for me, the light came on. And I think doing some soul searching, that's part of those 12 steps that it talks about. If you really dive in to that little blue book, it's just soul searching.
Right.
Why
It's
am I
going deeper.
acting this way? Why am I behaving or reacting when this happens, then this happens, right? It's just like electrical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I had to be like, the root cause was that I didn't love myself for whatever reason, childhood trauma, right? We all have baggage that we carry throughout our life. And so for me at my age, at 43, when I got sober, I was like, do I want to carry this big black garbage bag of garbage? Or do I want to say, no, I get to rewrite my own story at whatever age in
I love
life,
that.
right?
Yeah.
And I did. And, I dissected it. There was another woman that helped me go through it. There was a lot of tears. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of happiness. There's a lot of joy. And these are all emotions that normal people feel without any attachment. But for somebody in sobriety, it's very difficult to feel happiness or joy or sadness or grief, because Monday through Friday, if the day ends in Y, 365, we are drinking. We are, putting chemicals in our bodies
Right.
because we're happy, we're sad, right? Ultimately, it's loving yourself, right? To love yourself enough to say, if I'm having a bad day, it's going to be okay. We can get through this, and how to react to things, pause and figure that out. So I would say the last 3 years of my 46 years on earth has been such a spiritual awakening for me.
Wow.
Yeah, it has been
Wow.
so enlightening. And
Beautiful.
most of my time, every single morning, I'm at the Buddhist Center. I start my
Really?
day with an AA meeting, and I find my people over at the Buddhist Center.
Yeah.
These are people that are getting up, going to work. We just live in the solution, and so that has really taught me how to deal with life on life's terms as a sober woman.
Right.
And in turn, it's helped with my relationships with my husband, two totally different people, right? We were kind of talking before, and it just works. And so it's like, when I have to give, he will take, or, vice versa. And we're always just kind of there for each other. Thank God my bad day is not his bad day, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But it's also teaching me how to be a better mom. Like, how do both Francisco and I had traumatic childhoods, and we don't have to repeat that, right? The chain is now broken, and our children have no idea what that lifestyle is. And so that's what it talks about when it's like breaking the chain. And I mean, obviously, with my son going to Barcelona last year, I wasn't going to Barcelona when I was 13,
Right. So
you know?
already you're like, yes, he is having different
Yeah.
experiences and you are creating that and making that happen.
Yeah, making that, the home safe, and there's always children over there, and just counting my blessings, when I wake up in the morning, the safe house, the warm bed, the hot coffee, the kitty cats. I'm not alone. I have family, and if I live in gratitude every day, when I get in my car, put my hands on the steering wheel and go out into the world and just see the colors of the world. There were so many days that were dark and I didn't even see the sun come up because I
Oh,
was suffering in my addiction, right?
wow.
So it's
Wow.
just really beautiful
That
to
is
be
beautiful.
at this stage in my life and say, what does today bring? And that's the joy that I'm going to live, whether it's real estate, cabinets, volleyball, soccer. We ride motorcycles
Yeah.
too. We
Oh,
started
yeah.
snowboarding. You and I were
Yes,
talking
that's
about that.
right. Yes, like
Yeah.
every day you were
Yeah.
going up there. I was like, Jim, you were committed.
I was committed at age
Yes.
46. I was like, I think I'm going to try that pretty blue mountain up there.
I love it.
These are just joys that I was like, I'm going to do it. Why not?
Why not? Life's
Why not?
short.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it a
So,
go. And
it's
even
been so
during a
fun.
crappy snow year, you made the most of. I mean, like the one storm we had, you're like, we're there in the middle of the storm. It's like jokes
the
on
eye of the
us that had
storm.
all these excuses of it's too snowy, it's too sunny, it's too,
It was fun. And both of our parents passed away recently. And so
Oh,
for us, we're like, how do we recreate new traditions, right? Like, we used to host Thanksgiving dinner. And so now
yeah,
it's like, what are we going to do? Stare at each other? So we're like, let's go to the mountain. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, New
yeah,
Year's, we were up there starting new traditions. And
yes.
my son picked up skateboarding this past year and just really did well. And same with snowboarding. And my daughter's really well. They're at the top of the mountain and I'm on the
Yeah,
bunny hill. I'm like, I'm having a
yeah,
great time.
yeah.
And we just had a great time. They were up there Wednesdays after school on half days. Saturdays and Sundays, they had their snowboarding crew. And I was like, this is the life
That's
that we're looking to cultivate,
I love
right?
that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So,
we can relate with the whole kind of just on the I don't know, trying to shift the traditions, right? Scotty really does not like traditions. Like almost like triggered by them. Like, no. But I think it's because we both were raised religious, both
Mhm.
raised Mormon. And we back then, I mean, the tradition of Christmas, for example, it's
Mhm.
just so religious. And it's something that, at least for me, it was almost like celebrating a lot of those things like the nativity and this and that, all these things I no longer believed in.
Sure.
And it kind of almost made me sad around Christmas time
Mhm.
and not like doing the things that I would do. So it's like you have to proactively create new traditions. And it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be what, society tells
Sure.
us is the tradition. So and we only have our kids every other year. So
Mhm.
the years that we don't have our kids for Christmas,
Yeah.
like we usually leave and go on a trip,
Perfect.
kind of do our own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Having no expectations attached to it. And that
yeah.
has also been something that I've learned the last couple of years. No expectations.
Yep.
I think the
Exactly.
biggest day of the year that we have expectations is our birthday, right? We expect it to go this way. So if you just wake up and you're like, I'm so grateful, another trip around the sun, like,
Yeah.
what does today have planned? Maybe your spouse has to work. Maybe the kids have school. Maybe you have appointments all day because we are adults now. We don't get to have cupcakes at school anymore.
Yeah.
And so, but just getting rid of it and then you look back at the end of the day, whatever it is, Christmas,
Mhm.
birthday, you're like, today was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Getting rid of those expectations or what society is. The minute we walk out that door, turn on our cell phone, the world is telling us what we should be. And so
Mhm.
in any profession, real estate is hard for me. I can be like, oh, I'm rocking and rolling. I'm doing such a great job. I'm
Yeah.
providing for my family. And I get on social media. It's like, oh, I'm not doing that good. I'm not
Right.
doing as good as the other people.
Right. Constantly comparing
Comparing
ourselves.
in every faucet, like my kids too, they're like, oh, I'm not as good. And so it's like, we have to have that decompression and just to be like, you are good enough. Whatever you
Yeah.
say that you're good enough in, you're good enough in. I don't have to
Um,
compare myself. Do I want to be a top producer today? Probably not. If it comes, yes. Have I been in
Yeah.
the past? Yes. But right now, I'm just having a fun time living life, and whatever comes,
Important.
comes, right?
No,
So
I love that.
it's been fun. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel I hopefully have another, my second half of life, another 46 years to live, and it's so cool to see what else happens.
What a beautiful mindset.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
it's
excited.
important. Yeah, brings to mind for me. I mean, I know we were talking in the beginning or joking about how all the different careers and all of
Mhm.
that, but I think it's a fine balance of like, okay, to get really good at something, you do have to like keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, even in
Mhm.
the days that it's like it's I don't know, I don't want to say boring, but yeah, I mean, there are
Yep.
boring pieces. I mean, of being a successful realtor or
Mhm.
having a successful photography studio. But me being here doing this podcast, I mean, is this just another ADHD, hobby because I'm bored? Like, okay, I had to like
Yes.
possibly, but but I was surprised that Scotty supported this one,
Yeah.
that not just like, oh, this is going to take away time, because it's like, you know what, this is something that provides a creative outlet, is fun. It
Mhm.
gets me something like excited because it's something different.
Yeah.
And but while having parameters. So part of the reason why we have so many tech issues every single time is because I've told myself that during the day I still have to, we put food on the table,
Yep.
right? We still have
Yep.
to pay our bills. And so I still need to make majority of my time focus on the photography business. And so it might mean that this grows really slow,
Mhm.
but that's okay. It's an infusion of joy.
Yeah.
It's something like, why not? Like, if
Yeah.
I took an improv class a few years ago. So, you know what? I want to take improv classes. Like, why not?
Yep.
Right?
Why
Am
not?
I going to go, I don't know, go be the big main improv thing or go be a stand-up comic?
You
I
guys
mean,
might be in LA soon. You
I
never
don't
know.
know. I mean, if I just followed my like ADHD desire, I'm going to do this tomorrow, I'm
Yeah.
going to do this. It's like, that'd be great. But, when it comes down to it, of
Right.
course, we also have to support our families. But it's important to find those little opportunities for fun and joy,
Yeah.
because life is short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you never know, right? We wake up one day and I'm like, I think I'm going to go snowboarding, or I think I'm going to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's like, oh
Why
my
not?
gosh. But we're having so much fun doing it. And you never know. This could, I think in life, the things that are difficult, if they were easy, everybody would do it, right?
Exactly. Well,
And
there's definitely barriers to entry. I mean,
there
it's
are barriers to
freaking
everything, and you'll figure it out. You guys
yeah.
will figure it out. It's going to take time. But how cool is it that you get to sit with people and talk with them about life, get to know people
Yeah.
better? It's like a coffee date that we schedule in our books.
Right. It never happens. And now
And
this just
it's,
makes a reason to make it happen.
yeah, and it's fun,
Because we
So,
should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it's like we're busy and this and that. And we,
Yeah.
we also know a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And, but this is like, oh, I got to like really get to know you now.
I think it's fun. I think
Yeah.
it's
Thank you.
good. And even though with all the frustrations, I think it's going to go somewhere.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to us more about like, I don't know, like not your sobriety journey, but before that, like what tell us the story.
Yeah. So for me, I started using when I was 11 and drinking when I was 11. And if you
Wow.
go in, so there's two types of AA meetings. There's a closed meeting, which is private. Only, my women's meeting Monday nights, it's like we get very intimate. We're all alcoholics. We talk about stuff that only we can relate. Then you have other meetings that are open. You could go anytime and listen to somebody's story, whatever.
Okay, so now, so like follow-up question.
Yeah.
People who start using it at a really young age is slightly fascinating to me. Like what was the catalyst for that? Why?
Sure. Yeah. So looking back, and I don't know until you take some time and look back, right? For me, my parents had gotten divorced when I was very young. I think I was in third grade, and my mom left, and I didn't see my mom again until I was in my 20s.
Oh,
Really.
wow.
She was here and there and that kind of stuff. I
Wow.
would pop in, and my parents would play hot potato, but we just never really got along. So I was always with my dad, but my dad was a single dad. And looking back now, of course, growing up, I had a lot of resentments, but looking back now, being a parent, I'm like, he did the best that he can with what he could. But
Mhm.
his jobs were casinos, and casinos, as we know, living in Reno, is swing shift graveyard.
Oh, did you grow up here?
I grew up here,
Oh,
Nevada native, lived here my whole life. First generation. Yeah.
okay.
So, my dad worked swing shift. And so when we got out of school, there was nobody home.
Okay.
And so he would leave a pickle jar full of money to go eat, and we lived by Scoopers over in Sparks. So that's what we did.
Mhm.
Well, one thing leads to another when you're left alone.
Yeah.
And I remember like taking a cigarette and like trying to light it in the toaster.
Oh my
And,
god.
and we're like, this is disgusting, but we love it. There's like 6 of us, and it was just like, and then, you start hanging out with different people and you're ditching school and those people are drinking at houses. And so then
Wow.
I'm starting to use
At 11,
drugs.
12? I mean,
Yes.
that's cool.
Isn't it crazy?
Oh my gosh, I'm thinking of like my daughter and I'm like, oh my
And
god,
my
that's
children have
crazy.
they're older than 11 now. So when they were that age, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even begin to imagine.
Right.
That
They're
goes back
kids.
to talking about breaking the chains.
Yeah.
My husband had 10 times worse life than I did.
Yeah.
But, you're just left to your own devices and you don't know how to be a child or an adult. And so you're hanging out with people. And I was hanging out with gangs back then, in the early 90s, taking buses all over Reno and just,
Wow.
I had this life that I look back now and it's like, oh my gosh, I would never allow my kids like my daughter can't even say the night at anybody's house, right? Because I'm
Right.
just,
You just know like not
no,
that's-
yeah,
don't
yeah.
skip the
bad.
It's just
temptation.
not, yeah. But for me, there was a lot of trauma that happened because of being left alone.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so to cope with that trauma that was happening to me, I would drink and use because I didn't want to have or feel or be in those emotions, right?
Sure.
Because I thought that I was a bad person because this stuff was happening to me.
Mhm.
So that just mimicked itself as time
Aw.
grew. And I had a child when I was 15. I barely had him before I turned 16.
Wow.
And so back then, Washoe High had the school for pregnant girls. It was called Saisis. And so I went to it. And then TMCC gave me a scholarship. And then that's when I went to college. And then I got a degree. And then I started working for the district attorney. So even though I had these stepping stones in life, I always had that underlying addiction. And even when I would do good, I would always fall back on that addiction because it was my comfort. It was my blanket, And so all through life, it would be like, oh, I would succeed. And then I'd be like, oh, I don't deserve this life, self-sabotage
Uh-huh.
and then go backwards. And so at
Wow.
the beginning, right, with 11 and the cigarette with the toaster and then drinking and using, hanging out with gangs, skipping school to progressing to adulthood to it's like my husband and I thinking that we could have a beer during a holiday or, I'm sorry, have a beer during the summer at a barbecue. And then it's like that beer is good. But then 3 months later, now I'm not coming home. I'm saying I'm going to go get milk and I'm going to go to the casino and gamble.
Oh, wow.
So it's just this progression of this disease. Like when I drink, something turns on in my brain that doesn't work, right?
Mm.
Like it doesn't, I have this disease is what alcoholism is.
Right.
And so I know after so many attempts, it was like, we'll just try kombucha. We'll just try red wine. We'll just try not drinking. We'll just try, and we've
It's just too
tried
slippery
everything.
of a slope.
Too slippery. So now
Just
I
don't
just
touch
can't
it.
drink at all. And it's like, I'll be the person that drinks at the bar and then I'm going to go find the other stuff, and it's like, what are you
Wow.
doing?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
for me, I'm just like, I love myself too much to abuse myself anymore.
Mm.
And even though that one beer on a hot summer day, maybe at like your party or whatever, like a
Right.
party that my friends host,
Yeah.
may be good that day, but in 3 months, you're going to find me relapse down at the casinos, not coming home.
Wow.
And so what happened this last time was that I relapsed so hardcore that my husband took the kids and moved out of the house and
Wow.
for 6 months. And so I was left to suffer and
This was in 2021.
2021.
Okay.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I was suffering so much that I thought that ending my life would be the best option. So I took a whole bunch of pills and I drank some alcohol. I wrote my suicide note and I woke up the next day and I was
Holy
like, oh my
shit.
God. So I called Francisco and I was like, I need help, and so he took me over to Reno Behavioral Health. And,
Wow.
that started my journey of loving myself. And so looking back at that person this August, I'll have 4 years. And I'm like, who is that person? And who is
Wow.
all of the girl that we talked about today? Who is she?
Mm.
She still lives there. And I love her and I treat her with love. I am the person that she didn't have. But now I get to be the cool mom and the mom to the daughter that never has to experience any of the trauma that happened to me, and my son,
Yeah.
doesn't get to have that life,
You changed the script.
Yeah, we changed the script. So I look back and say, if those terrible things didn't happen to me, it wouldn't make me who I am today. And not only am I changing the script for me and breaking the chains from my family, but so many other women out there. Because I'm not anonymous in my alcoholism, people side message me.
I
They're
bet.
struggling. I get CEOs and presidents. And I mean,
Oh,
people are just
wow.
like, I have this person in my life. How do I get
There's
help?
safe space for
A
people that are
safe
struggling.
space. And I always keep our appointments confidential. Um,
Wow.
I just want to be there for somebody. But in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, I help other women, find love. And so that is my thing. I start my day with AA, and then I go on from there. So
Wow.
it's such a beautiful
That is beautiful.
experience.
I didn't understand the depth of all of
Yeah.
that. So thank you
Yeah,
for
of course.
sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very cool.
Yeah.
And AA has been around since 1939.
Is that right?
Yeah. Isn't it crazy?
Wow.
So,
That is
and it's
crazy. I
just that
didn't
little
know
blue
that.
book. Nobody tries to reinvent it. We have traditions attached to it that we don't have any outside issues influence us, no politics, no religion.
Yeah. Just
And
we
it's
all
just
come
by the book.
together. Yeah.
And I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I just open that blue book and those little black lines on those white pages changes people's lives. So it's very
Wow.
cool.
No, that's
I feel
beautiful.
grateful to be an alcoholic in recovery. It's changed
Just
my
finding gratitude.
trajectory. Yeah.
Yeah. What
So
a beautiful perspective. Thank you
yeah, of
for
course.
sharing. And I
Yeah.
hope someone listening can be inspired. I'm sure many will.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah. Actually, I'll just go into like a possible closure. And maybe this is a really short conversation, but we'll see. So where do you see yourself like at this point? I mean, like I said, I think we kind of have a lot of things in common where it's like we're just day by day. We're like we're kind of just following, where is the next calling?
Yeah.
But it feels like, or I feel like the vibe that you're giving out is the calling of helping Francisco in the cabinet business. That feels like that's kind of going to be like the next kind of seeds that you're planting. Do you like have like certain days that you're going to be focused on one thing or another, or is it kind of day by day like where the calling is? Where do you kind of see over the next year of divvying up your time and energy? Because I know how hard it is to keep energy focused on
And family.
Yeah.
and family and kids.
Yeah, all the
being very intentional with where I'm curious.
I love that. I
yeah.
love that word. That's my word of the year is intentional.
Yeah.
So everything I do has to be with purpose, right? And why am I doing it? That brings me back to feeling joy. So I don't know yet. That is a great thing. Last year I took on some coaching with real estate to help me really catapult my business and do the 10X.
Yeah.
And then I did it and I was like, is this what I want?
Yeah.
I joined the board at Sierra Nevada Realtors. I am a Washoe County director. It's a 2-year term. I was elected into it.
Wow.
I'm having a great time because I get to speak with, I was just with Devin Reese yesterday. I can speak with commissioners. Not that I need that title to have those conversations, but it has branched me out. And that has kind of helped me see what else is there out there, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with that and the coaching, she was like, create a calendar, right? And in that calendar, think of it as a pie chart: family, AA, business, fun, whatever it is. And just make sure that your cup is full every day and all of that stuff. And so I did. And I was like, again, goes back to the luxury that we have of, what time do I want to go to work? Well, I want to wake up and go to my meeting in the morning. So nothing
Yes.
happens until that meeting does from 8 to 9. So I can mosey into the office around 9:30 or I can go back home. So I put really 2 hours of work on real estate daily in the morning. When I'm feeling good, I'm refreshed. And then I have my exercise at lunchtime. And then the afternoon, I want to be home when the kids get home from school. So that is cabinet stuff. That's scheduling, doing behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's dinner time and soccer time.
And
volleyball.
and that's the day.
That's the day.
Yeah.
And then
You're there
it's
for your
family
kids.
time. So that is my goal. We'll see what happens,
No, I think
but
that's beautiful.
the next appointment I go to, it could catapult me to go a different direction.
You never know. Yeah. No, and what I'm struggling with lately, and it's funny, we were just chatting about Peloton last night,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, it's all about, I'm infusing just a couple really good habits every day.
Mhm.
The fact that you go to the temple every
Yeah.
morning,
Yep.
I mean, that probably just sets your day off right, where
It
it's
does.
just, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that I've been finding, okay, do I wake up and do I have my coffee and write in my journal and set my intentions? Or do I wake up and do I hop on my Peloton and do that? Because like having the endorphins and going
Mhm.
there. And I think that as someone that I'm not good at routine, like that's never been something that
Yeah.
I thrive at.
Yeah.
I am someone, I'm like, oh, today I'm going to do this and this. But
Yeah.
we all know that the day's gone if you function that way.
Yeah.
It all starts with those habits.
Yeah.
So I think I'm kind of in a mode where I think finding like the 2 or 3 things, like what are the 2 or 3 things that you do every single morning?
Yep.
You don't break from it.
Yep.
And so, I mean, that's inspiring. And I know you had to get to essentially rock bottom for you to
Yeah.
find
Figure
that.
out what is it, what do I want to do? And the Peloton is on my 12 to 1. I'd
Oh, you
love
do?
to
Yeah.
get outside now because we have beautiful days now. So, and
Yes.
I live in Damani Ranch where I can open my door and walk anywhere. So get outside. I want to
Yes.
get outside. So get outside and then come back and do 20 minutes on the spin. I tried to squeeze it in the morning, but it just wasn't happening
I
until
know.
you squeeze it out of your day. And it's like,
Yeah.
I wanted it in my day.
Procrastinate. Yeah.
So I have to
Yeah.
do those 2 hours of going to the office, doing my coffee appointments, doing real estate, whatever real estate looks like
Right.
for those 2 hours. And then sometimes, obviously, we have clients, we have showings. I'll
Yeah.
have to squeeze that in later.
Sure.
But if I have my consistent and if I'm like, hey, I'm going to do it 3 times a week, every day is hard to do, right? But
It
if I
is.
do 3 times a week, maybe today it's not going to work. So I know that I have 4 more days this week or 3 more days this
Right.
week. Really, then I'm like, okay, I'm not cheating myself. I'm just not
Yes.
doing it today
Yeah.
because life got busy today.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm struggling. And this is just about Peloton now, but like I have this group of women. She's
Mhm.
actually a client of mine, Jill Lyons, and
She met her.
oh, you
The other
met her that
night.
night. I love it. That's the way Reno
Yeah.
goes. We all know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And she invited me to be part of her like intimate Peloton group, and like I feel like I'm failing on a constant basis though because it's 3 very specific days, and it's at 7:30. But if I
Okay.
have, we had a shoot up at Incline, we didn't get home till 9:15.
Yeah.
And then my brain doesn't fall, it's like,
Yeah.
or if I have one night that I can't sleep and then the next day I'm like, I didn't make it, I failed.
Yeah.
But if maybe just like an accountability group where it's
Yeah.
like, did you do your 3 days?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
Just
which,
start
just
it
get
with,
it in.
yeah. And I think I learned that tool in sobriety. It was like when we come into sobriety, sometimes we have so many things. I had smoking, drinking, street drugs, gambling, right? There's all these addictions. It's rare that somebody just comes in with one addiction.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. There's so
Oh,
many addictions if
interesting.
we're not just thinking about what we put into our body, but the habits that we do as well. Yeah. When we come in and it's like, today I'm going to not take alcohol. Because if I don't drink that alcohol and all we live is 24 hours a day, right?
Yes.
We just do 24 hours a day. I always say, turn into a pumpkin at midnight and I get to do it all over again tomorrow, right? Like Cinderella, just start over tomorrow.
Yeah.
So today I'm not going to drink. And after some time accumulated, it becomes a habit. And you're like, I'm not drinking.
Right.
It feels natural.
Say
Now
like
I'm not
30 days.
white
It's a
knuckling
habit.
it. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to drink anymore. Now I'm going to say, maybe I'm going to stop smoking now, right? Don't quit everything or don't start
Right.
everything at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I saw someone. There's this like grandma DJ gal. I can't remember her name.
That sounds
She's super
fun.
cool. Yeah, I know. And she just shared, right? It was like something on Instagram or
Mhm.
whatever. And I
Yeah.
didn't know that piece
Yeah.
of Alcoholics Anonymous of it being, or that is that a very common piece where it's like just day by day.
Yeah.
And
Every
she
day.
was saying, oh no, I'm not committing to not drinking ever. Like I'm just committing to today. Because
Yeah.
mindset wise, your brain can handle that. It's not
Yeah.
too overwhelming. You don't
Right.
feel like you're failing because you're going to probably mess up next week. It's just focus on today.
Today, if I say I'm never going to drink again, I've failed myself in the past so many times that I'm setting myself up for failure.
Yeah.
But if I say today I'm not going to drink, I don't know what's going to happen today, right? And then it's like we set these expectations. If my dad dies, well, my dad did die. He died 2 years ago and I was sober and I've stayed sober.
Wow.
His death didn't constitute that.
I love
Then I had
wow.
a pet die, which I felt was worse than my dad dying. And I hate to say that. And he would be laughing, but I knew he was dying. My pet was very sudden. And so that is like the squirrel moment of life, right? Like, ouch, that hurt really, really bad. Did I have to drink? No. Was I super depressed? Yes. My husband's like, you can't be in bed for 2 days. But so I have to learn these tools of living these raw emotions that I've never felt before, right? So
Right.
I just have to, we have to be easy on ourselves, right? We
Yeah.
have so many expectations
So
out there.
much.
3 days a week, I can do the Peloton. Is it what days? I don't know. I have it on my calendar. If I don't get to it today, do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if I do 3 days in a row, then okay, I've done,
Heck
you know,
yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
If you feel like squeezing in a
Yeah.
fourth, you want to be crazy.
Yeah, like, hey! You know, before you know it, you can maybe do 7 days a week. I don't know. You know, but
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, today. All I live is today.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember who, I'm really bad with names, but the other day at the Empowered Ventures, anyway, she spoke about habits and she spoke about, I'll add it to the comments.
yeah.
Emily?
I think it was Emily.
Okay.
Yeah, about just that. She's like, I was chuckling because it was totally so me. She's like, if you wake up on New Year's morning and you're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write in my journal.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the cardio. I'm going to have a clean house and I'm going to organize everything. I'm going to meal prep for the whole week. And then it's like you wake up and it's like, well, you're up till midnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was New Year's Eve and this
Yeah.
and that.
But the cool thing is that you can start your day over at any time, right?
Yeah.
If you get behind somebody that puts you in a bad mood at 2 p.m., you can just be like, I am not going to let this person ruin my day. Let them, right? Like Mel
Mhm.
Robbins talks about, let them.
Yeah.
So if I can start my day over at any time, I can start my week and my month. So
Yeah.
we have to get rid of these New Year's resolutions and say, I mean, I started snowboarding in the middle of the year or at the end of the year, right?
Right.
I rode a motorcycle because somebody was like, hey, you should ride a motorcycle. I don't know what month it was. It wasn't a New Year's resolution. So if we get out of our own way and say, today, this what brings me joy and this is what I get to do,
You
then
just
your
start
life
today.
changes. Yep. Start
Yeah.
today.
No.
And if you know, there's people that talk about relapse. I've obviously relapsed. If you slip or relapse, if you don't do your Peloton, if you don't meal prep, if you did meal prep, but you didn't get meal day 4, you know, out of 6.
Yeah.
So what? Start again tomorrow.
Start again
It's
tomorrow.
okay.
Yes.
Not a big deal.
No, that's a really
So,
good
yeah.
mindset. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Because even like driving here, I was kind of beating myself up. I'm like, I said I was going to prep the video stuff. I said I was going to do this. And it's like, why am I waiting to the last minute? This is the exact same thing we did last week with our last guest where I was like showing up 20 minutes before and I'm like, crap, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I was beating myself up. And I'm like, well, and I had the thought, I was like, it's because I've told myself that I have to work in the photography business and book clients and, you know, pay
Yep.
bills and
Yep.
stuff. And if I'm only reserving this for certain
Yeah.
hours and we're human and I have, you know, a daughter and this and that,
Yeah.
you know, it's just the way
Yeah.
it goes. So
Schedule an hour and say, I'm going to ask AI how to do this
yeah.
or the pieces that are missing.
Yeah.
And then just come here
to
and
schedule it.
pretend that you are doing it. You have Scotty, obviously, to help
Yeah.
you. And then next time it's going to just, the more
It'll just
times you
flow.
do it, it
I
just
know.
flows. Yeah.
Well, the next one we actually are just going to do just us two.
Perfect.
Because I think I
Yeah.
told you that we're
Yeah.
going to kind of take this podcast in a direction where like we're going to kind of get, I don't know, I'm going to say down and dirty. That's a weird way to put it. But, you know, we're going to get a little bit more
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah, raw is
Yeah.
a great word because it can be used in so many different ways, right?
Raw.
Like,
Yeah. The name of the podcast was going to be Unfiltered, but I was like, that's too cliche.
I
That's too
love it though,
cliche.
but Ask AI
see.
would
I don't know.
spin off would be right. And it's cool. It's like, who is Scotty? Who is Amber?
Yes.
Who are you guys together? Right? What people want to know, like this is just natural stuff. When I'm on my walk and I'm listening to podcasts or whatever, the joy, or when I'm scrolling on social media, I want to see what people are doing in real life. I want to
Yes.
see the blue.
What
I
do
wanna
they
see-
really
yeah.
like? Oh,
Yeah.
even just prepping here, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you guys kind of
I'm like,
fight.
okay.
Oh, I know this. They're like, oh yeah, no.
It's not just me and Francisco. And my kids are
Oh.
like, oh my God, Mom.
God, she's
please
like,
be
why
quiet."
are you doing this wrong?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I don't think like you. You
Yeah.
know, we
Yeah.
have like 2 totally different brain types, and
But this is real.
It's
you know?
real.
And this is
Yeah.
what cultivates the relationships and gets people to be like, I know, love, and trust, right?
Yep.
These are the 3 things. I know, love, and trust.
yep,
When we hear those trigger words, it's like, oh, call Amber. Oh, call Melissa.
yeah,
Oh, Scotty. Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, now it feels genuine because you're like, I know these people. You're not
Yeah.
just passing the torch and you're like, oh, I hope they do it right.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I know somebody.
yeah.
And
The
we
la-
all know somebody.
No,
right?
it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last thing I want is to like just a polished, perfect whatever, because we do that so much, you know, when we
Yeah,
go
it's
to
boring.
like galas and this and that and fundraiser events, and we're out there networking, and
Mhm.
we're so used to keeping superficial, not because like we try, but because when you meet a lot of people in an event or whatever,
Mhm.
and it's very quick and it's quick exchanges. What do you do? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
We're constantly on this superficial mode.
Yeah.
So I think we both have been craving just getting more real.
Yeah.
Like I'm craving deeper connections, deeper friendships. And that's exactly what this is, because, when I'm photographing, it's like I'm focusing on posing and lighting and this and that. And it's usually a little bit of small talk in between.
Mhm.
There's not really opportunity to get like super deep.
Yeah.
So I think it's a natural human tendency to, and hopefully listeners also, that's what they'll find with us is that we can just be real here.
Yeah. And
There's
I
no
love it.
judgment.
It's going to take off. I know it.
Oh, well, thanks.
Scotty might be
Maybe
hanging
slowly,
on
but-
behind you like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
But that was me with Francisco. I'm like, what are we doing?
What's going on? We're doing it. I'm
And
surprised.
like, yeah.
She agrees to things randomly. Usually she's like, that's a bad idea. This is too much. And this is just another ADHD moment. And then like this one, you're the no man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though sometimes you tell me no and I do it anyway. Like, so like the 40 over 40 project that you're in.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to do this. She's like, that sounds like cliche bullshit. Blah, 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 blah. And then
Now look at it.
And
The
now
other
look at
day.
it. I'm like,
right? That was so
eat
cool.
your words.
It was so cool.
It was
And
so
that
cool.
venue was great. And to see these people that you're like, I've only seen them online, and then to have
Yes.
those raw, real connections with, and everybody knows everybody. So it's like you start your conversations
Yes.
and you're like, oh my gosh, yes,
Yeah.
So it was very full. It was
Mhm.
grateful to be a part of
Well,
that.
thank you.
Yeah,
Glad to have
of
you part
course.
of it. And just, just kind of like for the viewers of like what it is.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is the reception at the end. So every year we do the 40 over 40 project. We bring in 40 women who are all open to sharing their story, which
Mm-hmm.
I think you share, you only have 300 to 500 words to share. So it's like,
Short and sweet.
a
Yeah,
short and
yeah.
sweet, this is the real story. This is
Yeah.
the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everyone shares their story and then we compile them into a book. And then at the end, we do a reception where everyone has the chance to meet each other. And all along, reception sounds boring, but like it's not, right? It was
Yeah.
just, it was just
It was
real.
so cool. I was
It
like
was
the
so cool.
Emerson, and you said
Yes.
heavy appetizers. I said, I'm there.
I don't know how heavy they were. We didn't even eat them. I don't know.
They were so good. They were
Good.
delicious.
I was too
It
busy.
was fun. We brought our spouse, right?
Yes.
So
they had mocktails.
They had great mocktails.
Good,
I almost
good.
put, but everybody should know that when I'm posting, it was a mocktail.
It's a mocktail.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't lapse.
Yeah. No. And it was just so fun. And, we had our books and we got to have people sign them. Like
It's like
high school.
nostalgic, right?
was
Like
so
yearbook
cool.
days. Like sign my book,
And
sign my book.
obviously, I didn't get everybody to sign it. So now I'm going to make coffee dates. I was reading those people
Ooh.
and I was like, I want to know this person.
Yes.
I'm going to
love
reach out to them
that.
and have a coffee date and bring my book, as silly as
Heck
it sounds,
yeah.
and have them sign
It's like
it.
a scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
Like,
it
you
is,
gotta figure out,
absolutely.
you gotta, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're planning on doing something for 5 years. We don't
Okay.
know what yet.
Yeah.
We don't want to overcommit, and I'm not going to make this like a firm. No, we are announcing. So Scotty's
Yeah.
going to just die if
Yeah.
I do that. Like
Yeah.
it's going to be this massive thing. No,
Yeah.
we don't know what exactly. If it's an either or, if it's a both or neither
Mhm.
of like a compilation book of all the stories from the
Oh,
5
fun.
years, which would
Yeah.
be super cool.
Yeah.
Again, my graphic designer is a little stressed by that idea, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but no, I think that'd be really, really cool. And then the other thing is doing some sort of larger reception. I'm not going to call it a gala because again, I'll stress Scotty out, but something to gather everyone.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
anyway, talking to people that night, it was fun because everyone, I think that we have enough, I think there's enough people that would be very interested in like trying to, as a community, make it happen too.
Yeah.
So
I do. I think so. It was very cool. And with everything that Hindy's doing and just the collaboration of women-owned businesses.
I know.
it's
And Reno's so
cool.
small.
Yeah. And everybody
Reno's-
knows.
yeah.
And I'm like, hey, if I know somebody that is a woman-owned business, it's just cool.
Yeah.
Not saying that obviously, with Francisco and his cabinet shop, but if I can be that female part of it, it's like,
Yeah.
well, it's co-owned by a
Oh,
woman,
yeah. And women
So,
probably make
yeah.
most of
Yeah,
the
yeah, totally
design decisions.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it makes
I know.
sense.
You can just slide it in. Under
Yes.
there. So,
yeah. And I
it's
think
cool.
everyone would just totally support you.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah.
It's going to be fun.
I-
So whatever happens in the future, I always say the universe is going to decide, and I just show up to see what the day brings, So
I love
here
that.
I am.
Well, this has been a beautiful conversation. I
thanks
think
for
this is
having me.
a good place to kind of
It's
end.
so fun meeting you, obviously, at the BNI group that I was in. It
Oh,
seems
that's
like
fine.
forever ago.
Yes.
I went there and I was like, this was really cool to see networking, but then my life just went different, right? And so, but I got to meet you and then got to meet you and I got my
Mhm.
headshots. I really invested in myself this last year,
Yeah.
and just the relationships that we've built has been really fun. And
Completely
just
agree.
having
You're such an
anchor in the
advocate,
community.
too.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, do you know
Yeah.
Amber and Scotty? You have to know them.
Yeah, well, and that
Yeah.
advocacy goes a long way because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
we need to support Melissa.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
everywhere we know a
Well,
lot of
thank you.
realtors, but it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you girl.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So
Yeah. Well, it's
awesome.
been fun.
Well, thanks for being
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
All right.
See you next time.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Day by day.
Day by day.